Hi guys, it's me, Rusty, 78609, Central Texas, USA. It's April the 7th in the PM. I did a video this morning, but I am inspired. I I got to thinking about I was a CPA, a certified public accountant for about 20 years. And so I understand a little bit about finance, and I know it's the dark side of the moon over here and all that shit. I can't do anything about it. Poor lighting, poor lighting, poor lighting. Anyway, I was a CPA for 20 years, so I understand a little bit about finance. Okay, I do. And I know I'm making another fashion statement. This is my Gildan t-shirt from Walmart, and I've got 6 of them. And anyway, the purpose of this video is to enlighten you as to what these Panama Papers are all about. Now, if you haven't read anything about the Panama Papers, check it out. Just do a Google search for Panama Papers, and it'll talk about what it is. For many years, corporations and super wealthy individuals, this is not for poor folks, okay? There's not many poor people hiding money, all right? But for years, this goes back into the 50s, probably much, in fact, much earlier than that, because it goes back to whenever the British took over basically the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. Jamaica decided to be independent of Britain, but the Cayman Islands decided that they wanted to be a protectorate, which basically means English call the shots from England, and they'll have a puppet in country. Well, over the years, corporations have used offshore places they don't hide money there. What they do, there's no money there, none. It's all electronic shit. And, you set up a little, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but what you do, you set up a company or several, and then you just start moving the money around like a shell game, okay? YouTube does it, Amazon does it, all of them do it. They're all guilty of it because they have advice from the best tax attorneys in the world, all right? And now the whistle's been blown and the gate's open. But let me tell you, forget all the legalities. Forget all the legalities about what's going on. That does not mean shit, because you'll just get confused. The people with the gold make the rules. So what they've done is they've made rules so that whenever they avoid paying taxes, you can't call it tax evasion because they're not evading, they're just avoiding paying the taxes legally. And there's the catch-22. You can avoid taxes all the time. In fact, you're encouraged to avoid taxes that you shouldn't needlessly pay. But what happens is, and here's where the destruction really occurs. And you can take any country in the world because it's happening worldwide. But let's just take England, for example, because they've got Grand Cayman as their quote hiding place, or whatever you want to call it, because those corporations, not only in England but in the USA and other countries, are using these offshore places. And it's not just offshore. There's Switzerland, we've got Delaware in the United States. If you're incorporated in Delaware, you get all kind of little benefits, and thousands of corporations are set up using Delaware as their home base, and a big reason for that. But bottom line is, there are places that corporations abuse the system, and what that causes, if you just follow it, just keep following it down, here's what happens. Let's just say in England or USA, for either one of those examples, you've got 50 large corporations that are avoiding paying their fair share of income tax. In some cases, they pay zero, zilch, and that's not good, because what's happening is they're using all of the infrastructure of the U.S. to prepare and distribute their products, and there's people working for these companies, but they're not paying any taxes. All right? None. Well, not none. Some of us pay a little bit because they feel guilty, I guess. Whenever that happens, it gets out of sync, okay? The government's got a budget based on this and that. Even cities have budgets. It goes all the way down. And if that revenue doesn't come in, then the budget's got to be cut. And that's what's happening across the world. That's why we have all this, quote, social unrest. Because these budgets are being cut. A lot. And so the schools that were going to be built aren't. And the schools that need to be repaired aren't going to get repaired. And the hospitals that were going to be built aren't going to be built because there's no money to build them. And that's what governments typically do. They build hospitals and roads and schools and all this shit. And for those people that are indigent or poor or whatever, they provide them with some kind of welfare benefits that keeps them from dying. And all of those are the first to go. Okay, that's the first to go. And that's where your revolutions start to build up, because people are not going to starve to death. They aren't, unless they just can't avoid it. But if they can go kill somebody and get something to eat, they'll do it. So that's where all this is headed. And it's what's happened has got so big that I think some government, maybe I don't know, I'm just guessing here, this is pure speculation. Somebody recognized that, look guys, we got to do something. This shit's out of hand. I mean, we've already got in the United States the seeds of a revolution. And those seeds are Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, and even Ted Cruz is on the fringe. And those are symptoms. And don't think the 1%ers don't notice that shit, because they don't want 320 million people kicking those gates down in those gated communities and stealing all their shit. And so this release of these Panama Papers by this that they somehow stole from this law firm in Panama, which is bullshit in my opinion, it was released. What was the reason for the release? The reason for the release was to put everyone on notice, corporations, super rich, elites, 1%ers, or whatever the hell you want to call them, to put them on notice. Folks, we're going to have to start paying up. We're caught. In fact, we're fixing to get overrun by the thundering herd. Now, the next question is why would these greedy bastards, how many billions do you need? How many Maseratis can you have? How big a home can you have? You know what I mean? How many $5,000 haircuts can you get? Not many, okay? You can only eat so much food. That's it. And the amazing thing is most of these son of a bitches are not obese. And the reason is they got dietitians and nutritionists, exercise counselors, all kind of things that the poor people can't afford. They know they shouldn't drink Coca-Cola. They know that and they don't have it. They know there's a lot of things they shouldn't eat and it never shows up on their table. In fact, they don't even have to prepare their food, which we all know about. But the next step, once they've acquired all this super wealth, and this has been going on for, again, way, way back. Once they've got all this wealth, they want to protect it for their heirs, okay? And this is where it goes. This is the links in the chain that are going to be hard to break. There's trusts out there, and I know a little bit. I used to work with wills and trusts in the States. And they're big. Some of them are damn big. I mean, in fact, you wouldn't want to know how big some of the Walton trusts are. Rockefeller Trust, Kennedy Trust, and I'm just naming a few. That's just the tip of the iceberg. They're unbelievably. What do they own? Well, they own land. They also own bonds. They own U.S. debt. They own China debt. they're not stupid. They may have invest a little bit in the market, but not a hell of a lot. And if they do invest in the market, they do it on insider information for one reason. They make a profit 100 times out of 100. But what do those trusts do? They set them up for their kids. They even call them generation skipping trusts. Once you've given all you can give legally to your first line of children, then you can do generation skipping. That's for the children that hadn't even been born yet. And don't think they don't do it. And it's a hell of a tax ploy. It'll save people millions of dollars in taxes, or it can. So anyway, the point being in this whole discussion is whenever you read about the Panama Papers, just be aware that the fact that it's legal or illegal does not mean shit. It's totally immoral. Immoral, you understand? It's against humanity to put people in such poverty or drive them into such poverty that they have no choice but to revolt. And that's what this is doing. And hell, I'll give you another one. And it's happening, two things. One, in the USA today, if you've got health medical care and you're going to have a major heart surgery or you need a heart transplant or some major thing, our insurance companies will pay for your flight and your stay in India to have it done. Why? Because it's cheaper. That's why they save money. It's all about moving money. They don't give a shit about the humanity. In fact, they wish the heart patient would die. Get the hell rid of him. So the people that are building hospitals now and making money off healthcare, particularly in expensive surgeries, are not from the U.S. They're from overseas, everywhere overseas, because they found out they did. But you talk about wealth untold. Obamacare, they guarantee payment. The federal government guarantees payment. You can't beat that. That's perfect. I mean, anyway, enough said. I feel better now. The therapy has worked. But I just had to get this off my chest because I got to thinking about the Panama Papers, Grand Cayman. Everybody's real concerned about, is this legal or illegal? Fuck that. It's way beyond legality. But you got law firms that make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars every year all over the world to be damn sure that these countries set the laws so that the super wealthy and the corporations can scam the system. That's how it works. And that's the real fucking world, man. Telling you. But anyway, you can see that I'm a little chapped about all this, and I am. Biggest reason is because I don't care who's elected president in the United States, nothing's going to change. They'll continue draining this son of a bitch because they're not from here. Multinational corporations owe no allegiance to the United States or England or Ireland or Mexico or anybody. None. They owe their allegiance to the shareholders. Who are the shareholders? The big ones. The 1%ers again. So it's like a little circle running. It's like a little bubble floating on top of the ocean. They just keep sucking it up. Can you stop it? Yes. Yes, you can. But it's going to take somebody that's a leader. And is Donald Trump the man? I don't know. I hope so. I'm going to vote for him. I'd vote for him or Bernie Sanders. That's it. Would I vote for Hillary Clinton? Shit, no. Why would I vote for her? Ted Cruz? No. No. They're already in, man. They're already bought. So be that as it may, I feel better now. And I will relax. Just a minute. Take a deep breath. Exhale. It's beer 30. Take a swaller. And my fashion statement continues. Now I could say something like, que sera, sera, whatever will be, and then relax. But I'm just not that kind of guy. Sometimes things hit a little, kind of pinch me, and I just get on a roll, and I got to get it out. So I've got it out. Enjoy your day. Carpe diem. Adios amigos. And que sera, sera is a good philosophy. It is. But don't que sera, sera yourself right into total poverty and enslavement, okay? You know, whatever will be is okay, but keep one eye open, okay? All right, men, ladies, I've enjoyed the visit. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye.